There's someone in my life who I owe a special apology to. I'm talking about someone who I really loved and lost because I screwed it all up.
I think the biggest problem I had this year, even with him and on his side, is identity.
That quote, that moment, it lit the internet on fire because once again, we're all trapped in the same loop where Justin Bieber drops a track, fans drop their jaws, and somehow it all circles back to Selena. This time, the alleged song in question, She'll Always Be My Muse. Let that title marinate for a second. Across social media, from TikTok edits to Reddit think pieces, the whispers are louder than ever. Is Justin still writing love songs about Selena Gomez, even as he plays Doting? Husband to Hailey Bieber? It's weird. It's wild. And if you've scrolled anywhere on the internet this week, you've seen the chaos unfold in real time. Headlines exploding, fandoms clashing, and millions of viewers asking the same question. The mainstream media won't touch. Is this track even real? What does it mean for his marriage? And how does Selena feel about being dubbed his eternal muse? Years after the final goodbye, today, we're ripping off the polite filter and digging deep into what's really going on behind this new wave of celebrity chaos. Let's start with what has group chats blowing up across the world. According to viral posts, stan accounts, and breathless entertainment outlets, Justin Bieber has dropped a new emotional ballad, supposedly titled She'll Always Be My Muse, and fans swear it's a confession about his on-again, off-again roller coaster with Selena that spanned from 2010 to 2018. The lyric everyone's obsessing over? She'll always be my muse, but it doesn't stop there. The song is said to include cryptic lines like a chapter that never closed, which fans are now reading as a possible sign that Justin never emotionally moved on. If true, this isn't just celebrity gossip, it's nuclear-level drama, because Justin's been married to Hailey since 2018 and recently welcomed their baby boy Jack in August 2024. The alleged song mirrors the acoustic, introspective tone of albums like Justice and Changes, which only makes the emotional weight feel more real, and fans? Oh, they're losing it. Team Bieber stans are calling it raw, vulnerable, and the most authentic thing he's released in years. One comment that's gone viral says, Justin pouring his heart out about Selena is everything. You can tell she still holds a piece of him. But not everyone's here for the sentimentality. Critics are calling him out hard, accusing him of disrespecting his wife by publicly romanticizing an old flame. Calling Selena your muse while married to Hailey? That's not deep. That's just messy, wrote one frustrated fan. Selena's own fandom is split. Some appreciate the unspoken acknowledgement that she left an artistic legacy in Justin's life. Others, however, see it differently, accusing him of recycling their past for attention. Selena doesn't need this. She's thriving. He needs to move on, one tweet read, capturing a growing sense of protectiveness over her peace. And just when you think the tea couldn't steep any deeper, it turns out the track is reportedly produced by Benny Blanco. Yes, that Benny? Selena's current fiancé, the man she's planning to marry, and apparently the one who helped Justin write this supposed love letter to his ex. So now the million-dollar question is this: did Selena approve of the song? Or is this a case of music business colliding with romantic history in the messiest way possible? This twist, Benny Blanco's involvement, is what's made fans spiral into full-blown chaos. How is it possible that Selena's fiancé could be producing a track about her from her ex? Some say it's ironic, others call it industry, betrayal, and some believe this means Selena gave the green light, raising even more eyebrows. Is this just another savvy move in the entertainment machine, or is there something else happening behind the scenes? One thing's for sure, the media is feasting on this. Tabloids like TMZ and Page 6 are treating it like front-page war. Headlines shout everything from Justin can't let go to, is this the end for the Biebers? Meanwhile, music outlets like Billboard and Rolling Stone have tried to stay classy, dissecting lyrics and soundscapes while conveniently slipping in a few juicy quotes for clicks. But let's be honest, even their restraint can't stop the frenzy. Every move Justin makes, every outfit Selena wears, every silence Hailey maintains, it's all being dissected under a microscope, and no one's talking louder than the fans. The strange thing, neither Justin nor Selena has said a single word. No clarifying post, no press release, no acknowledgement. Justin keeps promoting his music as usual, smiling for cameras without addressing the lyrical inspiration. Selena's locked in on Rare Beauty, her acting gigs, and her own album rollout, leaving fans to spiral with theories. That silence, it's gasoline on a wildfire, and it's leading to deeper speculation, especially about Hailey. Fans have pointed out that she's been completely silent about the alleged track. No likes, no reposts, no Instagram story showing support, nothing. Some say that's a clear sign she's uncomfortable, that this song has crossed a personal line. Others insist she's just being smart, choosing privacy over pettiness. One group says this is emotional cheating. The other, artistic freedom. And both sides are shouting over each other. That brings us to a bigger question. Where is the line between artistic expression and emotional accountability? Yes, artists draw from personal experience, that's part of the job. But when the art is about a very real person, someone with a current partner, a family, and a life away from the spotlight, what responsibility do you have? Is it still just art? Or does it become a statement with consequences? Selena and Justin's history is long, public, and painful. To some, referencing it now feels like a violation. To others, it's a powerful form of reflection. But here's the plot twist nobody saw coming. Everything we just walked through, the song, the drama, the reactions, it might not even be real. Yeah, you heard that right. Despite all the headlines, the TikToks, the fan wars, the think pieces, there's no actual evidence that this Justin Bieber song, "She'll Always Be My Muse," exists at all. Let's pause for that. The supposed lyrics, the emotional ballad, the chaos over Benny Blanco. Producing a track about Selena, none of it has been officially released. There's no Spotify link, no Apple Music drop, no announcement, nothing. The only thing Justin has shared lately, a short Instagram story clip, a vague acoustic teaser with lyrics that go, "You taking? Bait, shaking off the hate, got the sun on my skin, I bought a Birkin for my babe." Not exactly dripping in Selena references. Music news site Capital FM even confirmed. The lyrics had zero mention of a muse or of Selena, and aside from that teaser, Justin's been relatively quiet on the music front. Since dropping Justice back in 2021, he hasn't made any major release announcements, just whispers about potential projects and a maybe tour in 2025. So where did this story even come from? That's where things get even messier, because while everyone's pointing at Justin, the actual lyrical shade may have been coming from the other direction. In March 2025, Selena Gomez dropped her new album, I Said I Love You First, a project created alongside her fiancé Benny Blanco. And some of those tracks, let's just say, they're not exactly subtle. Songs like How Does It Feel to Be Forgotten and You Said You Were Sorry immediately caught the attention of fans. The lyrics? You're so embarrassing. Go cry where no one's watching. I had a dream you said you were sorry, sorry for everything that you put on me. For a lot of listeners, it felt like Selena was finally responding. Not just to Sorry from 2015, but to the entire emotional weight of her time with Justin. And suddenly, the narrative flipped. The Muse song, fiction, Selena's album, fact. It was never about a new Justin Bieber ballad. It was always about how the internet stitched together a story that felt real, even when it wasn't. And that tells us something bigger. So let's talk about it. Why did this fake story explode? Why did millions believe in a song that doesn't exist? Because it fit. It fit the narrative fans have been emotionally invested in for over a decade. The iconic, tragic, unfinished story of Justin and Selena. This wasn't about lyrics. It was about longing, for closure, for drama, for reconnection. Fans didn't need proof. They just needed plausibility. And in the emotional universe of the internet, that's all it takes. This is how social media builds alternate realities, piece by piece, feeling by feeling, until fiction becomes truer than fact. Stan accounts across Twitter and TikTok started spinning interpretations. Threads broke down Justin's every post, every emoji, every silence. Each one became evidence in a case no one ever confirmed existed. It didn't matter that the song wasn't real. People were already posting reaction videos, memes, think pieces, and most of all, judgments. Judging Justin, judging Hailey, judging Selena. And that judgment, it lives on confirmation bias. Once you believe in the love triangle, every gesture starts to look like a clue. Like when Justin posted that Lord of the Rings meme, The one showing Gollum holding a ring with the caption, "Girls on social media when they get engaged." It dropped right after Selena's engagement went public. Fans lost it. Justin Bieber is spiraling. Karma's real. He's still not over her. One meme, one moment. Infinite assumptions. That's how fast the narrative mutates. Because when fans want the drama to be real, they'll make it real. And that's what happened here. A story that was never confirmed, never released, never even hinted at by the artist, became the story because it satisfied our need for drama, for patterns, for the illusion of unfinished business. But what this really reveals isn't the state of their love lives. It's the state of ours. To understand why people still believe in the Muse story, even when it's fake, you have to go back to the real love story, because the emotional wreckage of Justin and Selena isn't fiction. It happened, publicly, messily, repeatedly. And for an entire generation, it was the relationship they grew up watching, falling apart, getting stitched back together, then breaking again. Let's rewind. 2009. They meet. Justin calls Selena his celebrity crush. 2010. They're photographed leaving IHOP together. They say they're just friends. 2011. Vanity Fair Oscars party. It's official. Gelena is born. And for a while, it was beautiful. Private movie nights at the Staples Center, matching red carpets, love notes in the form of lyrics. But the fairy tale didn't last. 2012. First breakup. Blame, schedules, trust, chaos. 2013, 2017. The on-again, off-again loop. The emotional whiplash. The Instagram wars. It wasn't just a breakup, it was a saga. 2016. Selena comments on Justin's post about Sophia Richie. Q. Public fighting, cheating accusations, and emotional carnage. 2017. She breaks up with The Weeknd. Justin reappears. Gelena 2.0 begins. Briefly. 2018. Final split. This time, it's not a pause, it's the end. Within months, Justin marries Hailey Baldwin. Fans were shocked, not just because he moved on, but because it felt like the ending no one saw coming. And maybe that's why people keep holding on, because this love story didn't get a final chapter. It just ended. Fast, brutal, unfinished, Selena put it all into Lose You to Love Me in 2019, a raw, haunting goodbye. Justin responded in interviews with respect. "I loved her, I still love her, but I'm in love with my wife. So much pain, so much grace." And yet, the closure never felt complete. That's why, even now, one fake lyric can trigger a million emotions. Because whether you rooted for them or not, Justin and Selena were never just a couple. They were a cultural memory. And memories don't need facts, they just need feeling. So if Justin and Selena ended years ago, why does this story keep coming back from the dead? Because it was never just their story. It became ours. Millions of fans grew up with Gelena. They weren't just observers, they were emotionally invested, rooting, crying, arguing in comment. Sections. This is the heart of parasocial relationships. One-sided emotional bonds where fans feel connected to people they've never met. And with Justin and Selena, that connection wasn't casual. It was core memory deep. So when Justin married Hailey, it didn't feel like just a celebrity wedding. It felt like betrayal to some fans. A story stolen mid-chapter, and that's when the lines began to blur. Fans divided into factions. Team Selena, Team Hailey, Team Justin, Team still not over it. And with every post, every song, every public appearance, fans started seeing clues, even when none were there. That's how we got here. A completely fake song going viral because it felt like it should exist, because fans wanted it to. That's the thing with fan culture. It thrives on unfinished business, on what ifs, on emotional projection, and social media. It's the echo chamber that amplifies all of it. Once you watch one TikTok about Gelena, the algorithm floods your feed with 100 more, each more dramatic, more speculative, more sensational than the last, until you're no longer just watching celebrity gossip. You're living in a parallel reality built on recycled feelings. A single comment becomes a coded message. A song becomes a scandal. A silence becomes proof. And suddenly, you're crying over a couple that broke up 7 years ago, convinced they're still secretly in love, or secretly feuding, or secretly everything. It doesn't matter what's real. What matters is how it makes you feel. And that's where the danger is. Because when emotions override evidence, we stop caring about truth. Let's be brutally honest. The media loves this mess, not because it's true, but because it's profitable. Gossip sites, entertainment blogs, YouTube channels, they don't need verification. They just need eyeballs. A headline like, "Justin Bieber calls Selena his muse, fans say Hailey looks furious." That's clickbait gold. Even if the song never dropped, even if no one confirmed anything, even if the fury is just a screenshot of Hailey not smiling, because by the time you find out it's fiction, they've already won. They've already got your click, your time, your data. Welcome to the attention economy, where outrage equals revenue. Even legitimate outlets sometimes get caught in the trap. They don't make up stories like the tabloids, but they report on the fan reactions. And when fan reactions are based on fake stories, well, you get professional journalism spreading gossip with a press badge. It's a feedback loop. Social media invents a theory. Fans scream about it. News outlets report on fan reactions. More people believe the theory, and boom, the lie becomes fact through sheer volume. This cycle doesn't just warp public perception, it distorts celebrity reality. Think about it. Justin posts a meme. Hailey skips a song promo. Selena wears a neutral outfit. None of these are dramatic, but the context of obsession makes them feel like confessions. The headlines write themselves. Are Justin and Selena still in love? Hailey breaks her silence by staying silent. And the comments? A battlefield of delusion, projection, and heartache. But here's the part we don't talk about enough. Who's protecting the actual people? Justin, Hailey, Selena, they're not fictional characters. They're human beings trying to live real lives, raise families, grow businesses, and create art. And yet, they're constantly treated like puzzle pieces in a fan-made fantasy novel. That's not just unfair, it's unsustainable. Let's strip away the drama, let's forget the fake songs, the TikToks, the decoded emojis, and instead, let's talk about what's real. Because while the internet keeps writing fanfiction, Justin, Selena, and Hailey, they've been writing real lives. Justin Bieber has spent the last few years stepping back, from tours, from the spotlight, from the chaos of his early fame. He's been navigating fatherhood, healing from health struggles like Ramsay Hunt syndrome, trying to redefine himself, not as the pop prodigy or tabloid magnate, but as a man. He's not chasing chart toppers the way he used to. He's focused on family, on faith, on finding peace in a life that was never built for privacy, and yeah, sometimes he still posts weird memes. Sometimes he says nothing when fans want answers, but maybe silence is the loudest sign that he's no longer playing the game. Hailey Bieber, meanwhile, is building a brand of her own, and a name that isn't just Justin's wife, her. Skincare line Rhode is blowing up. Her fashion presence is stronger than ever. And now, she's a mom, sharing quiet glimpses of baby Jack and balancing softness with steel. She's faced brutal hate, accusations, comparison, and through it all, she's chosen to respond not with drama, but with boundaries. She's not posting clapbacks. She's not chasing pity. She's just living, boldly, authentically, and without apology. Selena Gomez is thriving in her own lane, acting in an Emmy-nominated series, running Rare Beauty, one of the most successful celebrity beauty brands on the planet, and releasing music that's finally, fully hers. Her new album, I Said I Love You First, isn't some nostalgia trap, it's evolution. Whether or not the lyrics are about Justin is beside the point, because she's not responding to her past. She's reclaiming it with clarity, control, and confidence. Her relationship with Benny Blanco? Private, powerful, grounded, and exactly the kind of love that doesn't need to scream to be heard. Selena isn't trying to prove anything anymore. She's just being. So while the internet keeps screaming about triangles and throwbacks, the people in the center of that storm, they've already walked away from it. Let's talk about the game behind the gossip, because this isn't just a fan obsession. It's an economy, a full-blown content machine, engineered to monetize your emotions. Every fake headline, every speculative TikTok, every YouTube thumbnail, with red circles and crying emojis. It all exists for one reason: Engagement. Creators don't need facts, they need friction. They need a narrative that pulls you in, gets you mad, keeps you watching, and makes you comment. Even if it's just to say, this is fake. Because guess what? The algorithm doesn't care why you're engaging. It only cares that you are. That's why the truth dies so quickly online. A factual headline like, "No evidence of new Justin Bieber track about Selena flops." But a spicy, speculative title like, "Selena's fiance produces Justin's song." About her? Fans are losing it. Goes viral, even when it's 100% made up. Creators know this. Media outlets know this. And increasingly, so do the fans. And yet, the cycle continues. Because attention is currency. In this ecosystem, sensational wins, even if it hurts real people, even if it misleads millions, even if the story is built on absolutely nothing. And once a story catches fire, true or not, it's nearly impossible to put it out, because by then, it's no longer about the content. It's about the conflict. It's about who's right, who's wrong, and whose team you're on. The narrative becomes the product, and your loyalty becomes the fuel. That's how a completely fictional song became a global debate. About marriage, loyalty, betrayal, and artistic boundaries, all without a single note ever being released. So now that we've dissected the chaos, let's zoom out. Let's look at what's really happening in the lives of the people at the center of the storm. Because behind the headlines, beyond the rumors, and far away from the noise, they've moved on. Madison Beer, once the teen YouTube prodigy discovered by Justin, is now her own force. Her evolution has been quiet but powerful. From viral fame to mental health struggles, Madison's journey hasn't been filtered through the glam of clickbait. It's been raw, personal, gritty. She opened up about being dropped by her label at 19, about battling suicidal thoughts, about being diagnosed with borderline personality disorder in 2019, and instead of hiding, she confronted it. In interviews with Elle, Teen Vogue, and Daily Mail, she described how fame at a young age nearly broke her, but instead of letting it define her, she used it. Her 2023 album, Silence Between Songs, marked a clear transformation, not just sonically, but emotionally. It was honest, vulnerable, earned. Critics praised it, fans felt it, and the industry took notice, landing her a Grammy nomination in 2025 for Best Dance Pop Recording. That night, she walked the red carpet and then left early. Not for attention, but for her mental health. That's not a drama queen move, that's a woman in control. She's not chasing validation anymore. She's creating on her terms. And while the internet screams about imaginary feuds, she's headlining Coachella, building a fan base, and prepping a new musical era, one filled with confidence, clarity, and actual craft. And then there's Hailey Bieber, the woman who spent years being reduced to a headline, a scapegoat, a side note. But let's clear something up. Hailey is not just Justin's wife. She's a builder. While the internet kept throwing her into imaginary battles with Selena, Hailey kept building Rhodey. Her minimalist skincare brand has exploded, pulling millions in product sales, dominating Gen Z beauty tutorials, and setting a whole aesthetic for 2025. She's not chasing hype. She's creating taste. At Coachella 2025, her Red Bull collab went viral, not because of scandal, but because of stunning branding and effortless cool. She turned glazed donut skin into an empire. But even more importantly, she became a mother. In August 2024, Hailey and Justin welcomed their son, Jack. Since then, her Instagram has shifted. Less glam, more heart. And behind the scenes, sources close to the couple told Us Weekly the baby actually strengthened their marriage, bringing them closer in a time the world expected them to fall apart. That's growth you don't see on TikTok? Yes, she's been targeted. Yes, she's been compared, criticized, and dissected by people who've never met her. Yes, the hate has been brutal, but Hailey hasn't responded with rage. She's responded with boundaries. When rumors swirled about her marriage, she addressed them directly. The stories and blind items I see on TikTok are 100% wrong, made out of thin air. They come from the land of delusion. And when she was dragged into viral drama, like that Coachella moment where she guided Justin's brother away from what looked like a weed session, some praised her, others judged her. She didn't explain. She didn't fight. She just acted like a mother, a protector. Because at the end of the day, Hailey's not performing. She's living, and the further she leans into that truth, the more unshakable she becomes. Now let's talk about Selena Gomez, because if there's one person who has learned how to transmute pain into power, it's her. While the internet kept trying to pull her back into the past, Selena chose the opposite path. She moved forward, and she brought millions of people with her. As an actress, she crushed expectations. Only Murders in the Building wasn't just a comeback, it was a breakout, a critically acclaimed Emmy-nominated hit that reminded the world she's more than a Disney nostalgia. As an entrepreneur, she built Rare Beauty into a global force. The brand isn't just successful, it's meaningful. It pushes conversations around self-worth, emotional wellness, and authenticity. And musically, she's still evolving. Her 2025 album, I Said I Love You First, isn't a revenge letter, it's a release. Yes, fans read between the lines. Yes, they pulled quotes and dissected lyrics, but Selena didn't scream or point fingers. She told a story, her own, from the inside out. And in interviews, she made one thing clear. This album isn't about anyone but me, my growth, my healing, my voice. And let's not forget, behind all that art and ambition is love. In December 2023, Selena confirmed her relationship with Benny Blanco. They'd been quietly dating for 6 months, building something solid away from flashing lights. A year later, they got engaged. No PR stunt, no dramatic announcement, just a photo of a custom diamond ring and a caption that said everything. She called Benny the best thing that's ever happened to me, a phrase that, ironically, mirrors what Justin once said about Hailey. But this isn't symmetry, it's serenity, because Selena's not chasing closure anymore. She's living in it. And maybe the most powerful thing she's ever done is let go. With love. So now that we know the truth, that the song never existed, that the drama was fan-fueled, that the lives we're watching aren't even playing the same game, we have to ask, why do we keep doing this? Why are we still so obsessed with a love story that ended years ago? Why do we cling to imaginary betrayals and headline clues like they're personal? Because this isn't really about Justin. It's not about Selena. It's not about Hailey, or Madison, or Benny Blanco. It's about us, about our need to believe in perfect narratives, about how uncomfortable we are with silence, about how quickly we replace facts with feelings if the story hits the right emotional nerve. Psychologists call it emotional patterning. Once a relationship, real or fictional, becomes part of your emotional landscape, you look for signs that it's still alive. You want something to confirm what you felt was real. So when Justin posts a meme, you decode it. When Selena drops a lyric, you interpret it. When Hailey stays quiet, you assign meaning. Because deep down, we want to believe there's still something unfinished. Not because it's true, but because we're still processing our own past. That's why the Fake Muse song blew up. It gave fans what they were already looking for. An excuse to feel, to fight, to relive, and in a world driven by clicks, views, and dopamine loops, that's all it takes. One rumor, one repost, one reaction, and suddenly millions of people are emotionally spiraling over something that never even happened. So here we are, after all the noise, all the headlines, all the fake-outs and fan wars. What's left? No secret song, no hidden betrayal, no love triangle still burning behind the scenes. Just 3 people, Justin, Selena, Hailey, living their lives, building their futures, trying, like all of us, to grow past who they used to be. And maybe that's the real story here. Not what the internet said, not what the fans wished, but what the people actually did. Selena didn't wait for closure. She became it. Justin didn't chase the past. He built a family. Hailey didn't fight for the spotlight. She earned her peace. They each walked through the fire of public scrutiny and came out choosing healing over headlines. So what are we still chasing? Maybe it's time to stop waiting for one more song, one more comment, one more clue, because maybe the story already ended. And maybe that's okay. Not every narrative needs a plot twist. Not every memory needs a sequel. Sometimes the strongest move is the quietest one, to simply let go. And when we do, we stop seeing celebrities as symbols of our own unfinished stories and start seeing them for what they actually are. People, just like us. trying to live. And that's more than enough.